Hey, it's me, Travis, a metalhead living in Japan, and I'm back to bring you another awesome video. Today we're starting a new series called Local Deep Dive. And today we're going to be talking about the city that I live in, Nagoya. If you're not from Japan, or you're someone who is not that interested in Japan, you might not know this city, but it's actually the fourth biggest city in Japan. It is an inland city, which means if you're into the water, like I am, you have to go pretty far to find it. Not so far that it's super annoying, but it's super annoying. In 2016, the Japan Times put out an article calling Nagoya the most boring city in Japan. And that reputation has stuck. I hope that with the content we're putting out on this channel, we can change a few people's minds. Nagoya has a lot of ancient history, if you're into that kind of thing. 70% of samurai came from Nagoya, including the big three, Nobunaga, Hideyoshi, and Ieyasu. It is also home to the Kusanagi, which is a big fucking magical sword. But I'm not here to talk about old dudes and swords. I'm here to talk about Nagoya now. The most famous area to hang out is probably Sakai, but Imaike, Kamimaezu, Osu, these are the places where the real underground stuff is happening, and these are the places where the bands that we're going to talk about are usually playing. There's not a whole lot of foreigners here, but there's a huge Brazilian community. A lot of them work in the factories making all those cars that you love and need. Take all that into consideration, put it in a pot, and what kind of bands do you think you can get out of a place like this? I'm not here to talk about the bands that have transcended the local scene.
I swear I gave you anything and everything, every little piece of me, but all you did was look away. And when I said I won't give in, I won't give up, I'm not dying, so let's rush on. Can't go on from my God, when you are the world,
Those bands have worked hard for the nationwide or international success that they have gained. I want to talk about the bands who haven't been given the same opportunities. So, let's get into our deep dive of local bands from Nagoya City. First band I want to talk about is Crocodile Bambi. Now, Crocodile Bambi is important to me because we host a series of shows in Nagoya called Metal Meetup, and they put on what I believe was one of the most historic performances we had the honor of hosting. In terms of musicianship, these dudes are pretty tight. If you've seen them live, the way they play their music, the precision, it is tight, 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 tight. Sounds like studio recording. Half of them are music instructors at the same institute, I think. Their music has a psychedelic element to it. It's got long experimental parts. If you are into the stoner, doom, sludge kind of stuff, I think you'll like this band. You can definitely hear a lot of 70s influence. Really recommend it if you're into that. The singer Yoshi is in another prominent Nagoya band called Outrage. They're a thrash band, and they sound like this. Pretty different, huh? Those are dudes with range. Actually, I heard someone just refer to Outrage the other week as the Metallica of Nagoya. Anyways, check out Crocodile Bambi, check out Outrage, super cool bands. Let's move on. I'm excited to talk about Iblo. I love nu metal. Fortunately, that is not such a hot take anymore. Nowadays, there's 80,000 bands coming out that sound like Linkin Park meets Periphery, super clean production with a big singing chorus. This is not one of those bands. When I say that this band is modern nu metal, I don't mean like that. It's more about the heavy ass riffs and that demented put me in a straitjacket vibe. This band has a lot of character and good songwriting. Their guitar tone is just so thick. They also have a lot of metalcore influences. You can hear breakdowns, you can hear two-step parts if you want to get down to that. One of the things I love about this band is each of the guys look like they're all in a different band. Definitely, by far, one of my favorite bands around in this town. They're young, they're in the way, watch out. This is a band called Punbaa. Punbaa is a thrash band. No, I mentioned Outrage earlier. There's a lot of thrash in Nagoya. You know what? Fuck it, let's just put it out there. There's a lot of hardcore, there's a lot of death metal, there's a lot of thrash. We got it all. Pumbaa is, as I said, a thrash metal band. They're actually crossover thrash. If you don't know what crossover means, they're thrash, but they're like on the edge of hardcore. So, you know, they're kind of edging over to that side. They are very influential to the other local bands in the area. There's only 2 bands on this list that I have never seen live. Pumbaa is one of them. Hopefully I can change that once COVID is over. And as you can hear, they're pretty heavy. So check out their other stuff if you get a chance. Up next is Lost Commitment. Whenever somebody asks me, what's your favorite local band? I usually say Lost Commitment. I really think they're my favorite local band. Every chance that I get to see them, I go nuts. This is a quintessential hardcore band, very reminiscent of Comeback Kid. It's fast, it's melodic, it's got everything you want from a hardcore band. It's got 2 steps, breakdowns, crowd chants, gang vocals, side to side stuff, and it's super positive, which is always refreshing. So, if you ever get a chance, please check out Lost Commitment. Talked about a hardcore band, now let's talk about a metalcore band. Runs in Bone Marrow. Don't let the bad English name fool you. This band shreds. I mean, like, they seriously shred. I would say this is definitely for fans of like Unearth, August Burns Red, you know, those kind of metalcore bands with like super whittly parts and then like super brutal like chugging. Not only do they know how to play their instruments and like write extremely mosh-worthy songs, they also know how to perform their asses off. If you ever get a chance to see them live, they're out there jumping off the amps and doing all kinds of crazy shit. Awesome band, super cool guys. Check out Runs in Bone Marrow if you can. Next on our list is a band called Public Menace. Public Menace was the first band I ever saw in Japan. That place lit up. I've talked about this a lot, but when I first moved to Japan a few years ago, I wasn't sure what hardcore shows would be like here. And then I went to my first one, and it was exactly the same. This band hit the stage, everyone went nuts. It was complete chaos from wall to wall, people diving off the stage, people going insane. This is a super heavy band. They're definitely like on that edge between beatdown and deathcore. Another band with like super thick guitar tone, really deep sounding stuff that just like hits you in the chest when you hear it. That's how heavy it is. If you get a chance to see them live, you should go crazy, but be careful because everyone else is going crazy at these shows too.
I've been running out of time, gotta be safe, gotta face the truth, it's not real. Must be like time is passing, too much fast to run me.
Let's check out a band called Kings and Queens. This is Nagoya's premier easycore band. If you don't know what easycore is pop punk with breakdowns. It's as simple as that. That means sometimes they do this, and at some point they always switch to this. They have the most hilarious, jacked up Japanglish lyrics I have ever heard in my life. I mean, just take a look. I think they're aware though, right? I think they're aware. This is feel-good party music. It's a damn good time. Go out to one of their shows. I promise you'll have a good time. You'll have a blast. Mars Violet Love is a prolific local band. They are always playing shows. Every weekend they have something new lined up. They're a machine. They're relentless. They just won't stop. And you know what? They're a band that doesn't give a shit. They'll roll up, plug in their stuff, kick out the jams, and then they're off with the wind. And you're just left there in amazement, like, what the hell did I just experience? This band is the embodiment of rock and roll. Only 2 members, guitar, drums, no vocals, completely instrumental, nothing but dirty rock licks. There's a hint of desert rock vibes there too. Kind of reminds me of Jet without the vocals, but I think fans of Queens of the Stone Age would be into them also. You're gonna get some psychedelic leanings in there too. It's amazing that 2 people alone can make music so exciting and so entertaining that it can keep your attention span for an entire live set. Let's talk about Fates, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Fates is probably the most punk band on our list. They're composed of completely all female members. They have a sense of humor which shows in their songs and their videos. They like to wear outfits. They've been putting in work for a really long time and they're a very important part of our scene. I mentioned earlier, there's only 2 bands on the list that I've never seen live. That would be Pumbaa and Fates. Hopefully I can change that soon. Last on our list is Clandestine. Clandestine is definitely the most metal. Okay, Clandestine is definitely the most metal band on our list. This is one for the true cultists. They play with a black metal aesthetic, but their sound is more death metal. I'm not gonna call them black and death metal. Actually, I might call them death and black metal, since, you know, they have floating blast beats, but done in a more aggressive death metal tone. They've toured all around the whole world, but I still think they deserve to hit a few more radars. The singer is in another legendary Nagoya band called Void, right? With 2 Ds. That's why I like to call it Void. They have been around since the 80s. They play psychobilly music and death metal, believe it or not. Now before we go, check out these honorable mentions. And I'd be a huge jerk if I didn't at least mention these bands, so here we go. A Soulless Pain, Acrobat Shonen, Amber Vial, Benz, Building Trees, Blasting Rod, Decation, Demolition, Deathfest, Diedra, Los Diablos, Double Tap, Kill, Evil Under the Sun, Fire Desire, Futsu no Banana, Game Over Humans, Ghost of Masubara, Hate Creatures, Hell in Hell, Isola, Ketsumidoro, Kogarashi, Meichuchu, Murder Within Sin, Murmur, Nice View, Nine Curve, Proletariat, Punyalada, Ragamuffins Band, Shield, Social Pork, Starcast, Sugar Riser, Swing Out, The Flight 8, Toxoplasma, Buo, Troil, Turning the Sea into Monsters, and Vertigo. And one more thing before we go. I want to give a special shout out to a band called Unholy Grave. Thank you for your relentless support of the local scene in Nagoya. This is my Lifetime Achievement Award, okay? So, Unholy Grave, they're the most important grindcore in Japan. They are also, in my opinion, the most important metal band in Nagoya. They are elders to the scene. They never stop playing. They constantly put on shows. They've got an eye out. They've given so many bands a chance to put themselves on the same stage as them, and they're responsible for Grind Freaks, which is a metal showcase that brings together all kinds of extreme music bands. They have such a visible passion for all things extreme metal, punk, and local music. Anyone that knows me knows I admire someone who holds it down for their city, and we all have Unholy Grave to thank for this scene thriving. Cheers to you guys. That being said, thanks for watching. You guys are the best. Hope I can catch you next time with another awesome video. In the meantime, you can subscribe to my social media and subscribe to Small World Social Media. Catch you on the flip side. Bang, bang.